Welcome back to Bonus Gym. Today is February 16th, 2024. This is midsection routine, week 3.3. Let's hit it. More on lifting science fiction. The issues at hand are simple. We lift weights by copying others. We admire those who are obviously on gear and ignore the natural lifters. And there are lifters on gear of some sort or another who claim they are natural. We seem to compete with other lifters. We argue about how many sets and how many reps are the best. We argue about what method is the best, but we don't see that it is all the same. X sets of X. Don't misunderstand me here at all. I looked up to Arnold, Platz, Boyer, Franco, and Zane. They inspired me when I was a young man. I also was well aware what I needed to do to achieve that, something I wasn't willing to do. I also knew that their training methods were only possible due to gear, by my own failures to attempt to copy them. I know because I tried it, and I went from 135 pounds to 130 pounds in a month. Back then, the only thing we had was the gym, where everyone was copying the greats. We had magazines and books written by the greats. None of this was working. As it shouldn't, because it takes a lot of recovery. Recovery that as a natural cannot achieve. Trust me that I tried everything. Sure, in 6 months I got some gains here and there. Nothing as to what I was looking for. It was all science fiction because it was always prescribing X for X reps. It laid claims to scientific studies of a group. Heck, even Arthur Jones, creator of Nautilus and high-intensity training, would prescribe one set with 8 to 12 reps, as well as rest time. Though it did produce results fast, it seemed to lack in the optimal results one could achieve. I did get to 185 pounds in a year. Then I went into being a rod buster, installing rebar. And it was a similar type of workout, very high intensity. Anyway, back to Arthur Jones. His science experiment, the Colorado experiment. He took a bunch of guys in a controlled study along with a man that was previously on gear that was injured in an accident and hadn't lifted for a couple years, and featured him as a result. Yep, in a month he gained 42 pounds. This was the boast of the high-intensity training. Yes, it grabbed my attention because back then we didn't know what we know now. Nevertheless, I was sold on high-intensity training because I went from 135 to 185 in a year, where nothing else worked. Well, sure, in 10 years, I would have put that 50 pounds on with the traditional methods of copying everyone else. Now we enter the age of YouTube. I watch and listen to all. Should anyone dare to go outside the norms, these knuckleheads make a video to pick on the ones who dare to do something different. They especially love to pick on high-intensity training as someone who doesn't conform to their form and diet. And if you don't endorse their supplements, watch out. Well, I'm here to tell you, that is all science fiction. Even high-intensity training is to some degree. However, I feel I have made a breakthrough. My training changes every week. I refuse to prescribe reps. Though I do suggest rest time, it is a suggestion. If you recover fast, go every day. You'll know if you're doing too much by the scale and tape measure. Your reps will decline by Friday. Though I cannot imagine, many can without special sauce. Every week, after every workout, I am sore for the focused muscle group. Yes, with just one set. Why is that? Because I have figured out my personal rep range. You can too. I have several videos on how to figure it out for you. They're in a playlist on my channel. Discovering one's optimal rep range is something that took me a while to figure out. See, there's one thing that has always stood in my mind and research above other things. Everyone has different genetics, and everyone has different muscular genetics on their own body, even different skeletal genetics. Within this, how the hell can anyone prescribe a number of reps? To add to that, everyone do X reps and X sets? Everyone take this much time off? Then I wonder how anyone can simply follow this blindly. I tell you that you can build a minimum of 1 pound per week of muscle. Oh, impossible, you say? How about you watch my reps video and try my training program for 10 weeks. Start with the first 10 weeks. Be sure to get your diet right for a light bulk. Okay, now I'll tell you, work out only 3 times per week. But heck, if you aren't sore, do more if you want. But as a science experiment, just stick to 3 times a week for the first 10 weeks. Within a couple of weeks, you will know your optimal rep range. The only thing you will lose is time, because rest assured, you will gain muscle and strength. Just always push yourself to failure on every exercise. Always move slowly on the eccentric. One thing I remember is in Arnold's encyclopedia was the shock method. That is why I have 9 different workouts in 10 weeks. Week 1 and 10 are the same, so you will see how much strength you gained in 10 weeks, and it will clearly show you the weak areas, or better yet, what exercise you need more reps in. Sometimes you may need 30 reps, maybe force negatives after 15 to 20 reps. This is what I do when even the optimal rep range doesn't work. For example, my chest has always been my worst genetic muscle. Dumbbells and barbells don't work at all. I only feel it in my shoulders and triceps no matter the technique. Basically, even the cables and machine, I don't advance very fast. Not as fast as the rest of my muscles. So, I've incorporated force negatives with the help of my lovely gym partner and life pain in the ass. I mean my beautiful wife. This has helped me advance on this exercise. Don't misunderstand me. I'm sure you're making gains doing the science thing or arguing about how many sets or a split routine or whatever works best. But remember, we're all different. If we were all the same, then we would all win the Olympia without gear. Put someone on gear in a controlled study without gear using the methods they achieved it with. We all know what would happen. These are the questions I ask. I have no issues with gear. That is a personal choice, just like drinking alcohol. I choose no. That doesn't mean everyone needs to make the same choice. I watch videos about people arguing about what training method works the best, but I never hear them bragging about how many pounds of muscle they are gaining per week. It seems they hit a plateau and are stuck. Why? Because they do the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. That's insanity. That is why I designed my training program with 40 weeks. I'm currently designing a new program that will take it to another level. Something that I should be doing already, but in the name of science, I continue with the 40 weeks. My current situation is I'm eating the calories to the tune of a 200-pound man in order to get this fat off my stomach. It is going down slowly, and the scale stays the same. I was going to continue with the bulk, but for me, with the fat goes to my stomach first, and I don't like it. Everyone is different in this arena as well. When we stop arguing about what training method works and try arguing about how much muscle we gain, we will quickly see that the science of copying others' exact workout doesn't work. With my methodology, we will stop arguing about how many reps and how many sets and how much recovery, and begin to brag about how much size we put on. For me currently, I'm losing a pound of fat and gaining a pound of muscle every week. My scale doesn't move, but my midsection is getting smaller on my diet, and I could gain more muscle every week if I ate more, but it is difficult at my age. I'm 54, I'm 5'8", and I weigh 200 pounds. My best genetics are legs, glutes, neck, and back. My weak genetics are arms, chest, and shoulders. Being the absolute worst is my chest. At some point, I will get a cable crossover and a chest fly machine to see if that works. For now, I'll stick with what I have. Don't start with me on dumbbell or barbell. That only seems to work my triceps no matter what the technique. I tried incline, decline, flat. As soon as my triceps are tired, I can't push anymore. I'm tired of hearing about these studies show. When are we going to start saying, my study of myself shows? But before we can say this, we need to try different things. My wife and I tried all sorts of workouts for a year as our own scientific study. Same diet with different workouts. The one that was the worst was the multi-set workout. I lost 12 pounds of muscle in 3 months, and the tape measure proved it. High intensity training, though not glamorous because we don't brag about max lifts. Well, then I continued to study it more. I realized that each muscle needed different reps. It was then that every workout made me sore, and continues to deliver. We do brag about every exercise adding 1 rep every time we work out. I know you always hear the gurus talk about how soreness isn't a guide to muscular stimulation. They're wrong because they want you to buy their product and not listen to anybody who has a better idea. Guess what? I'm not selling anything. I don't even make a dime on the ads YouTube puts on my videos. Why do I do it? To help others. I already have a good life, and I'm not greedy. Maybe in 10 years, when I'm 64, I'll win up subscribers, but it's highly unlikely. Either way, I don't care. In 10 years, I can look back on these videos and see how far I've come. I can already look back to the first video we made and see a difference. Here come the comments about me having a fat stomach. Hey knucklehead, I don't care. I added 2 inches to my arms in a few months, 2 inches to my pant size, and went up a t-shirt size, while the skin fold measurement stayed the same. This was after a year of training with different methods. I was my own science experiment. These days, when people tell me their method is superior, well, simultaneously trying to hurt my feelings that don't exist, I simply feel sorry for them, because they're trapped in a vicious cycle, a double-edged sword. If they dare try something new, everyone will notice and call them out on it, especially since they attempted to hurt someone's feelings in the defense of the junk science they're trying to push. They like eating poop, and you better like it too, or else they'll pick on you. Calling you names, it's a sad human condition. It only limits our true potential in every aspect of our lives to conform to what they want you to. My captor keeps me down, so I'll have my own captives. This is a terrible mindset. I want to help you unlock your true potential by setting you free. You will be your own science experiment. Let's hit it!